They say that lightning rarely strikes twice, but that's pretty much what happened to a Brentwood High School student recently. But if you knew her, then you might not be surprised. In tonight's School Patrol, we'll meet a young lady with a lot of creativity, enthusiasm, and smarts.
It's a review game we do in Mr. Kaiser's physics class. We get divided into teams.
It's safe to say anyone would consider Brentwood High's Joyce Blossom Kang
I've always called Joyce the perfect student.
the perfect student.
She's a high achiever, but she's very humble, and she does not flaunt her intelligence.
I was really surprised. There were a couple questions on the ACT that I was kind of iffy on.
That surprise was the time she took the ACT,
Getting that score, the first one came in the mail.
the standardized test students all over the country take,
I took it without the writing portion of the test.
and that colleges use to help determine admission.
It was a little less pressure the second time.
Joyce received a perfect score of 36.
Some colleges require you to send in ACTs with the writing portion, so I took it the second time with the writing portion. V2 and V3.
Not once, but twice.
And having that first perfect score there, I guess, gave me more confidence the second time.
To do it twice is still a rarity. Joyce never talks about that. We can only read about it in the paper.
I just need to do one quick conversion since some people answered in electron volts instead of joules.
Here in physics class,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Joyce and her team
The radius is the same, so it doesn't matter.
have a little friendly competition going.
A team who's really far behind could potentially get the question right, and if everyone else gets it wrong, they could potentially sweep the competition.
They have to learn to work with a group and how to stand on their own individually.
So we're thinking that the radius of the charge to the point is not changing, so therefore we can use the formula voltage equals KQ over R to solve the problem.
So says the young lady whose development of a high-performance hybrid supercapacitor
We ran that on our calculators and got an answer. So we're hoping it's right.
resulted in her being a finalist in the Intel Science Talent Search.
How did you know it's a proton? A supercapacitor can store energy for later use, so it's kind of like a battery.
Joyce first worked on the project last summer at Vanderbilt.
Trying to store a lot of energy in a very small space.
Talking about the very beginnings of capacitors,
Be able to deliver
just storing charges on two metal plates,
a lot of energy within a short period of time.
nowhere near the level of the work she was doing in the summer.
I've used it to light up an LED, so it shows that it's feasible for if we scale up the technology to be used. Wouldn't it just be KQ over R squared?
All in a day's work for this high-achieving student who relaxes by playing the piano beautifully.
She's that well-rounded person that every teacher loves to have.
By the way, Joyce will be in Washington, D.C. for the Intel competition beginning tomorrow. If she's a winner, she could bring home the top prize of $100,000.